What's up, grinders? Welcome back to the channel. Just spent the last 10 to 15 minutes climbing up this goddamn mountain here, and then God decided to drop a load on me, and now I'm fucking soaking wet. But, you know, it is what it is. We're gonna make this video. I don't care. I'm wet now. Might as well fucking make it. So, what are we talking about today? We're talking about the usefulness of learning a language. Okay, so where did this topic randomly come from? See, I have a video on this channel. A very popular video. It's a takedown of Akram, the supposed hyperpolyglot, okay? Now, in that video, I introduced the story of how I even came across this guy. Basically, an Esperanto speaker, a friend of mine, native of the language, introduced me to him, and I showed the conversation. I mentioned it's like a 5-second part of this 30-40 minute long video or whatever, okay? I don't even think about it that much. But then every single day since I've dropped that video, I've got at least one comment about that, where, you know, the part I mentioned Esperanto and the native speaker. Now, the comment goes in one of two ways. It's either, wait, there's native Esperanto speakers? That's a thing? And then, you know, in the past, generally what I would do is I'd just drop them a link to Wikipedia and say, yeah, go check it out. I think you might find it fascinating. But the second comment is one that I've seen repeated, not just there, but in other locations, and not just for Esperanto. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this comment before, okay? Now the sun's coming out. I just cake me in your glory. Okay, so the second comment is basically along the lines of, why would you go learn such a fucking useless language? Okay, and they're just like randomly just throwing insults out there as if I like stole their firstborn and, you know, fucking got a tattoo of Zamenhof across the forehead of it or something. I don't know. But like, they take it really personally. Like, it's actually fucking shocking how personal some people get over the shit that some other dude decided to learn something that they don't like. But it comes back to that question of, you know, useful versus non-useful. And, you know, there's a lot of people out there who will basically categorize things into a category of it's useful, it's not useful, and if it's not useful, then it's not useful for anyone, and it fucking should be destroyed, we should burn it to the ground type of thing, and you're a goddamn idiot for learning it. And this happens obviously with languages, and the useful category usually goes along the lines of, oh, it make money, money good, money useful, that's a good thing, or it not make money, or it not useful, and therefore that's a bad thing. And the funny thing is, it's money based on their perception of things, so it's not even based in reality. So they'll be like, why would you go learn fucking, you know, let's pick Estonian, that's not gonna make you money. And there's probably some dude out there who's working as an Estonian translator making way more than this person who's got their, you know, their hardcore opinions about the matter. But I digress. So I wanted to talk about this because there is a discussion in my Discord about this where, you know, people ask, you know, how do you deal with the situation of someone who says whatever you're doing is useless? Now, personally for me, you know, I don't give a fuck. That's basically it. I'm like, well, you don't find it useful? You know what I don't find useful? Your face. Should I dispose of it? No, I don't do that, but I do think about it, okay? Because I have faced this, you know, this thing about usefulness for many, many years. Obviously, my entire Esperanto career. I remember once I was on a train and I was standing, I wasn't standing, I was sitting there with my mate, okay, next to me. And we were having a conversation in Esperanto. I can't remember what it was about. It was probably about hentai, who knows. I was chatting away with him. There was some person sitting opposite us and he randomly goes in English, hey, what language is that? Like, he was listening in, okay. And we just stopped and look at him. I'm like, oh, it's Esperanto. And he's like, what's that? And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I started describing what is Esperanto to him, okay? You know, it's a constructed language, blah, blah, blah. Within 5 minutes, this guy had decided that this was the most useless thing in the world, and we shouldn't learn it. We should go learn something useful, like German or something, okay? Like, it was just crazy how he'd never heard about it, and yet he formed an opinion in the moment, and therefore was telling us that we should just stop speaking it immediately. Now, I wanted to talk about this because it's become even more hilarious along with the fact that we now have large language models, okay? And I see people shitting themselves over AI. They're like, oh my God, AI is going to take over. I'm not going to have a job. I'm screwed. Type of thing, okay? And especially with the language community, people are like, oh, should I even bother learning a language now? Because, you know, these large language models, they can just do everything. Now, obviously, they can't do everything, but it is a real fear that some people have, and it is justified for some people if they're working in translation, their jobs are disappearing, you know, it is what it is. The world's an ever-evolving place, and unfortunately, sometimes you're just fucking evolved out of it, okay? Like, you are the missing link. You get determined you are no longer needed by fucking society overall, and go on skis, okay? But that's not what I'm talking about here. What I do want to talk about is the fact that this has now created a divergence between what is useful and what is not in the minds of many people. And they're getting confused about the fact of, wait, is learning a language even useful anymore? Well, for me, okay, I've always been the weird ass guy sitting in the bushes. He's like, nah. Like, this fucking question's never bothered me. I've just learned shit because I fucking enjoyed it, okay? But now suddenly everyone is faced with the thing of, wow, maybe there's no point me even learning a language anymore. I'm not gonna be able to make money off of this type of thing. And I'm starting to think this is actually better for people like me. You know, the person who just learns shit because they enjoy it. Because think about it this way, okay? There is probably 100,000 whatever Evildeas out there, except these ones are a little bit more weak-minded in the fact that, you know, they're easily pushed in one direction or another about what they should do in their life, okay? And at some point, they've wanted to learn, I don't know, friggin', let's go to Estonia. I don't know why I'm picking on Estonian today. It just seems like, you know, a little language that no one loves. Probably needs some more love. You know, shout out to the Estonian speakers in the comment section, okay? But, you know, someone's told these people, oh, you shouldn't go learn that language. You should go learn something more useful, like English or whatever, even if they speak English, okay, like Chinese or whatever. Are we really doing this right now? You're an Estonian hater, aren't you? Fucking Estonian haters, man. You can't get away from them. Even here in Tasmania, they'll be up in the trees just waiting for you. Okay, but... Can I talk now? Okay. So, we're now in a world where you don't need to so much learn a language for economic reasons. Now, I'm not saying that reason is completely gone. That'd be bullshit, okay? There's plenty of opportunities to learn languages for work or whatever. But the actual driving factor behind it, I think as technology keeps to progress, is going to disappear more and more, to the point one day where we may not even need to learn languages at all, okay? Like, maybe you'll just have a chip or whatever in your head. But I think this is good for those who just want to learn a language, because now on, you're not going to, well, not now on, but like, you're going to get the thing a lot less where people say, you should learn X for money, because now no one's making money. You know? Why not just learn the thing you always wanted to learn? You know, whatever that weird ass fucking language, you know, that you're interested in, why not actually just go learn it now? Because no one's going to pay you anyway. And actually, to be legitimately honest, learning more rarer shit is probably better at this point. Because, well, there's less materials available, which means that the large language models have got less to be trained on. And you, my man, still have an opportunity. And this is something I talk about with I will end you. Okay, so this is something I often talk about with my goddamn, you know, people who are interested in, you know, sign languages. I say, actually, learning a sign language is probably economically the smartest solution if you're interested in languages and you want a job within, you know, with using languages in some way, especially in Australia, just because there is so few people who can actually professionally interpret within this language, and yet there's a massive demand for it. But if you learn something like Chinese here, okay, which you would think would lead to more job opportunities. No, it's not. It's basically completely pointless to learn it here, even though, you know, fucking probably 20% of Sydney, you know, our biggest city here, actually speak the language. Because, well, there is so many people that speak it, and if they do need someone who actually can speak that language, doesn't matter how well you learn it, they're just going to go get a native to do it, or they're just going to use a large language model. It's that simple, okay? It's I guess the whole point of this random rant is the fact that, you know, just learn what you want to learn, and as we progress with time, your random ass little interests, whatever they may be, will probably be of more value. Because those things that everyone wants, you know, that everyone needs for job reasons are going to be automated away in some form or another. And you'll be able to focus actually more on those random little, you know, linguistic interests that you might have. Just, I guess, don't try to make a job out of it unless it's something like a sign language or something, or maybe even some small indigenous language that gets friggin' government funding. Anyway, I don't know where I'm going with this. I just got rained on, my brain's cooked, the parrot's having a go at me, and for some reason I'm thinking about Estonian. I'll see you all in the next video. Make sure you sub to this channel if you don't. Someone might find you in a muddy ditch over there in a couple of days or so, and I'll see you all in the next video. Yep.